And welcome to Jeff's Trips. Today is Sunday, May 25th. Sunday, May 25th, 2025. We are looking out our window here at the Hampton Inn, Somerset, Kentucky. The calm after the storm of the cruise in last night. Looking at a little back road here. Today we're going to go to another location in in Crab Orchard, Kentucky, Lincoln County. Some other family was from there, and we're gonna see if we can go to the Christian church here this morning. Get a little preaching before we head on for the rest of the day, and then we're gonna be heading home today. Welcome to Jeff's Trips. I'm glad you're along for the ride. Last day of traveling. Been a long week and a half. And we're here at Crab Orchard, Kentucky. And this is a prominent, this hill here is a prominent fixture in the area. So John's going to tell us a little bit about it.
This was Spring Hill Racetrack, horse racetrack. Very important hill in horse racing history. Lots of famous jockeys rode here. I'm talking back in the 1800s. 1840s, 1850s, and this was so prominent that they said that if the South would have won the war, this would have been the start and the home of the Kentucky Derby. After the Civil War, the South didn't have a lot of money to send people on vacation trips up to spend their holidays. They're all summer long in Crab Orchard. So the horse racing industry kind of slowed down at this area right here. But lots of horse racing went on in that hill, around the base of the hill. And back then they raced different. They raced in heats. The horse didn't run just one lap around the hill and the race was over. They may take a break, like 15-20 minutes, and then race again. And they might race the same couple horses 3 or 4 times that day. A little bit different than it is today.
So this was the beginning of they say, this was the beginning of the Kentucky Derby. Was here at Spring Hill. People would sit on the top of the hill and look down on the track. So, but after the Civil War, within a year or two, I think it moved to Louisville. So, neat back history. Correction, it wasn't right after the Civil War, but probably about within 20 years or so after the Civil War.
10, I mean, that's 10 years.
Is when it moved to Louisville.
All
right, back that up again. George Rogers Clark.
Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby was started by a gentleman named George Rogers Clark. He was George Rogers Clark's grandson. And one of the gentlemen who was real prominent horse trainer and horse racer here actually shot George Rogers Clark's grandson at the racetrack over a dispute over money he owed him.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
And there's some corn there too in that field.
Yeah.
Okay, so this building here was a tavern and more or less hotel, which is right next to the the Spring Hill that we just showed. John and I went in here a few years back. Not the guy that owns it showed us a couple of the rooms where they were set up. But yeah, this building is connected to the horse track back in the day. We always know it as storage for tractors and stuff, but we did learn more about it over time. Yeah, the guys who drive the school bus, I think he said. There's a view looking away from the knob. Looks like some lake action down there or
Yeah,
something.
on the left, yeah.
Pretty view. No house, no barn.
Oh, that's the Dix River down there.
This is the back side of the knob here.
Wow,
The racing knob. Beautiful field here.
beautiful. Look at all the knobs over here. They call this out on the map too, the knobs.
Yeah, this is the knob section of, but yeah, you can see the back side of that hill where they would race around. That would be a perfect size track for sure if it was all cleaned out.
I wonder if they used to have.
This is the Christian church.
I'll come out though.
And this is where my grandpa John Hunter went to church. We're going to check it out. John's went in and check it out. It's about 11:15 right now. Crab Orchard Christian Church, 11 a.m. Today is Sunday, again May 25th, 2025. This is the church my grandpa went to. I've seen it many times, driven past it many times. Here comes Johnny. What's he gonna say? Huh?
This is the place.
All right.
Services at 11. There's 4 people inside right now, just kind of waiting around for 11 o'clock to roll around. And they know Carrie Hunter,
Okay.
our aunt, my
All right.
dad's brother's sister, my dad's brother's wife. She's passed away also. But I'm gonna cut this way now and get my wallet and stuff out.
Okay. First time I've ever been in here that I can remember. Might have been in here as a little kid.
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm his wife, Terry's wife.
Now, what was your name again?
So you know, you were just saying you know our people.
We knew the Hunter family. See, all our family lives right up 643
Okay.
in the Cedar Creek Bottoms.
Okay.
See, that's where our family's all from, or our immediate family. Sissy actually owns one. You said that was your.
Uncle Height Hunter, is married to Carrie,
Okay.
and he passed away. I can't
Yes.
tell you what year. He passed away first,
Uh-huh.
and then Carrie took over, running the show.
Okay.
The Hunter property or whatever.
That was Wayne Price's sister, wasn't it?
No,
No?
Wayne Price is my first cousin,
Oh,
and
okay.
Betty Price is Wayne's
Wayne's wife, yeah. See, they always attended here.
Yeah, she doesn't anymore.
No.
Wayne is gone now.
Yeah. We were at his funeral.
All that.
Yeah.
It's a thing for them.
So you call that area out there Cedar Creek? What'd you call it? Cedar Creek Basin.
Cedar Creek Bottoms.
Bottoms.
Yeah, that's
And that's where the Carrie Swan was.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
where
you can actually walk across that farm down to where
Cedar
they
Creek.
dammed the creek and made that
Maybe like,
little
Yeah, I
river.
heard they took a little bit of the farm for the lake.
Yeah. It's a nice and a much more active community. I don't know how aware you are of local history around here.
Little bit. Springs Hotel being a big draw.
They had this huge battle in Perryville, and as they were retreating, of course, the Union soldiers followed them down, and there were little skirmishes all the way from here all the way to the Cumberland Gap. And how many soldiers was it that died here? Have you been to the cemetery on the hill yet?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You've already been there?
We've been there over the
been there
years.
many
My whole life I've been there.
Okay, are you,
I'm
you know
about
where
60.
the Confederate soldiers are buried
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
circle? See, our church is the one that buried those guys.
Right.
Okay.
And paid for got the monument. Yeah,
Right.
right. And the day they dedicated it, they had pictures of Robert E. Lee hanging in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kentucky was a Union state until the war ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they took over a lot of other buildings in town for hospitals, but they took over that Baptist church when it's time for the company to leave, and if they were still too ill, they put these soldiers in residential homes. And they put them in the Smith home across the street from the Baptist church. And the Smith home had a daughter that lived there who helped nurse him back to health. And when he was better and he could leave, he left for 3 years and came back and married her in December of *64, and they stayed here in the Crab Orchard.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. They actually moved to Paint Creek, and they were married in January of 1864. He died in 1874, 10 years after he was discharged. He had 2 kids, one of them named William John Hunter, and that is my grandfather. But he died 10 years after the war because he was sick from the war and never did really get over it.
Yeah.
So when they give the statistic of how many men were killed in the Civil War, do they count the guys that died 5 years later, 10 years later as a result of the war? I would say no.
I would.
So that number they give is probably about 25%.
Well, I mean, you saw the same thing in Desert Storm. We saw the same thing in Vietnam.
Yeah,
It was, yeah.
yeah, the result of the
Yeah,
war. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So he stayed here, and the Hunters wound up, he died in '74. So he married a Smith, and the Smith was A.F. Smith, was her brother, and he's a pretty prominent guy here in town at the time. Owned property, and they wound up buying that house down, that farm, right down, I don't even know what road that is. It comes-
643.
643, yeah, right there. And that's where my dad was born in 1917.
It's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
It's great.
yeah. And his brother was 10 years older than him, the one that married Carrie.
As far as I know, all of my people, we're so thrilled to have you visitors here with us. Thank you for coming. This is the Hunt family. Hunter family, I'm sorry. We're not gonna have a song service today unless one of y'all wanna lead it.
Well,
I don't sing, and everyone's glad. So what we'd like to start with today, is there any announcements? Now that book is very unusual to be in a Christian church because it contains the Apocrypha. These days in the modern age, you very seldom see a Bible with the Apocrypha unless it's a Catholic Bible.
okay, I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
The Apocrypha, there's 5 books in the Catholic Bible. In that Bible, there's 5 books that are generally not in most Protestant Bibles. They were, when the Bible was put together all these years ago, they selected writings. This will be our Bible. Of course, the first 5 books, are the Torah.
Okay.
The Jewish Bible, I guess you'd say. That's and interesting enough, that's those first 5 books. See, that's where all of our laws come from. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
So this is a rare book.
It's an old book, and it's rare to see in a Protestant church like this.
And this has been here since 1907.
Apparently, it's been here since I knew anything about it.
When was it published, or when?
I can't tell you.
Printed, not published, I guess.
AJ
I
and
can't
Holman.
tell you.
What is it?
That's the,
Yeah.
Can you find a published?
actually when I was out here earlier, 1909 or 1909, I guess, 1909.
So it's relatively new when Pawpaw went here.
Yeah, 10 years old.
Well, that was when he was born, but
Yeah. Well, he probably went here as soon as he was born.
you see, they started here. Oh yeah, with the addition back here, yeah. And then I don't know exactly when the classrooms and everything was built. But see, that's added on. Of course, you can
Yeah.
tell simply by looking at the difference in the construction materials.
Yeah, plus it's got a lower basement on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
This is the Crab Orchard Veterans Memorial. And we stop here usually every year. This has been,
I don't know where he's at.
bottom.
Oh, right there.
this is our grandpa, John's dad, John Harold Hunter, Bozeman's mate, 2nd class,
They pressure washed
United States Navy.
it, and when they did, knocked a lot of the gold out of his letters.
World War II.
Gold magic marker pens down here and laid down here and filled it in. Needs it again, doesn't it?
Did knock a lot of the gold out of the letters though, didn't it?
Yeah. I used that marker collecting money.
Yeah,
Told
you
him
asked him.
about it. He says, well, I'll take care of that. And bam, he got to put it on there.
So when my
Jump up there,
grandparents, when my grandparents were still alive, we had come down here, and this is early 2000s. This wall was more or less brand new at that time, and for whatever reason they did not have my grandpa's name on there. They had his brother's name on there, but so Johnny was saying that he paid money to have his name added. That was a big disappointment when we didn't see his name
Right,
on there.
yeah.
That was back when we had the big pilgrimage down here, 2003. So you know, it took him a couple of years to get the name put on there, but he did.
I guess I was that punk too.
You see anything? You're too tall to fly that thing anyway.
That thing delivered a lot of death and destruction.
This is a Cobra attack helicopter, which was sponsored by the Broughton Town Community Center with donations from the citizens of Crab Orchard and surrounding areas. Special thanks to First Southern National Bank, Roger Lopez Concrete, Dix River Stone, Stanford Ready Mix to put this together. And this was here back in 2003 too. Looks like it needs a little upkeep.
Has this been here since then?
Yeah, 20 plus years, yeah, for sure.
We hear this is where you're supposed to come to get a donation.
I'll take all I can get.
Oh, you're taking it?
Yeah, I'm taking it.
We thought you were giving it.
How you guys today?
Good.
All right. Okay, now you're getting it.
So what was it? He was
33rd Indiana.
yeah. So he was
33rd Indiana Infantry Company B. You see what I'm saying about 1841? He died.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was a young man. Never did get over his
1874, you mean?
illness. 1874.
Yeah.
He was a young
You
man.
said 1841 a minute ago.
Well, I was seeing if you're paying attention.
I knew what you meant because I was
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
at it.
You know, he's probably not in a statistic. The war caused him to die.
So he was only what, like 36?
Yeah, looks like, yeah.
So he was about my age when the war started. 22.
Yep, this is the ancestor that ended up in
So like, what did he do after the war? Just kind of
Crab Orchard after he moved out of Indiana.
No, never went home.
Okay.
Well, we don't know. There's a time period they don't know where he did. But I think he got married in December 1864. The war was over in 65, April 65. But 1864 he got married. But he was discharged, I think, in like October of 64. So where he was for those couple months, I don't know. It might have been he had to go back to Indiana, maybe not. Maybe he just came straight here and it took a while to get the wedding thing together set up.
Yeah, this is Crab Orchard Cemetery up on the top of the knob.
And this is it. Like,
And this is, I've been coming here my whole life.
So then how does this work here?
This is his father.
Okay.
He's William John. He's John William.
Okay.
And she was a Stigall. And, you know, I was born in 48, December of 48, actually you could say 49. So I was very young when she died. I never met him before.
Now they say when you have, this is Hazel,
Yeah, I think
which is my grandpa's, John Hunter's older sister. She's born, 13, she was 13 when he was born,
Yeah.
roughly.
And I think Alma was in there in front of her, before her, and Isla was 1900.
Really?
Isla got married when she was 17.
Yeah.
I mean, she was.
So
like,
she got married when he was born.
I think she was like 17 in a day, years old when she got married. Well, she's right here. Prices are right here.
So I remember Hazel distinctly. Like John said, she worked at that little store. She lived in the old home. I think I remember going to her funeral too as a kid.
Daughter.
So this is Isla, which is my another sister my grandpa had, born 1900. My grandpa was born 1917.
His older sister, and she had a daughter.
Oh, did I say older? What did I say? Yeah, older sister.
She had a daughter that was born in 1917. So
Okay.
she had a daughter that was Papa's niece. They were in the same class together. They went to school together. Same grade.
This thing's tipped back quite a bit.
Yeah. It looks like it's upside down.
Yeah. It just needs to be rolled back this way.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
It's kind of a neat thing here. Last name King, Harbert Sr., Mary Owsley King, and they found their headstone. This one here says broken stones found by descendants at the home place, which would be awesome if you discovered that. Preachersville Turnpike burial site is lost. What if they were going to put that headstone out somewhere and never did? First master, this person, first master of Lincoln County, probably a Mason.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. This is a view from the cemetery. As you can see, I'm still up here in the cemetery up on top of this other knob. But this knob here is where the horse racing was, up on this ridge. And then down here below is where the horses ran around the track. and people would stay up on that knob and watch them go around before the Kentucky Derby time. Beautiful day today above Crab Orchard. Sleepy little town. Definitely looks like fish hatchery.
That's called a poor man's gate right there.
Fish hatchery area over there, we think.
By electric fence.
They might have some type of animals in there. Dog or something. The Pastime Cafe, Crab Orchard. Only food in town. Unless you go to the Dollar General and get a snack of some type. Smells good. You got a hamburger for $5. Chicken tenders $5.75. Hot dog $2.75. Tossed salad $3.50. French fries $2.50. Little soup, beans, and cornbread action. That's what we're dealing with. What do you have?
BLT and fries.
Little cheeseburger,
All right.
hot and good.
This is good too. The Pastime Cafe was really good. I had soup, beans, and cornbread. Haven't had any of that in forever. So that was good. Tasty. Just like this area needs a little grass mowingage too. You got rid of this pile of stuff, didn't you? We're up here at the cemetery behind Buzz's house. What's the name of this cemetery?
Whitley Reed.
Whitley. This is the William Whitley Reed.
Or Red.
Red.
Well,
Anyway,
R-E-D-D.
I had a guy come down from Michigan. He's writing a book about, I don't know, either this one or one of them. He was a medical doctor with the 7th Cavalry. when Custer was head of it.
Wow.
But he wasn't there at Little Bighorn. But
This is the doctor that delivered Puppos.
Yeah, so
Dr.
anyway,
Phillips.
he came down. He's at
1881 and 1967. Puppos was born in
I don't
1917.
know if it's him or. And anyway, I've got a list of all the people.
So this is the graveyard that we pretty sure that our ancestor is buried, but we're not sure where. The headstone we showed earlier, which was the nice new military headstone that we showed earlier, that was a headstone Johnny got, my uncle, and placed up there next to his wife. He is not buried there, but it depicts, you know, his memory. And story goes that when he was buried, he got sick and died. This is chainsaw. The story goes that when he had his funeral and then he was buried here, or at least we think he was buried here, that the headstone took a long time to come from the government, of course, and by the time the headstone got here, which was 6 months later, because his wife didn't make the trip up here to bury him, and we don't think a lot of people made the trip up here because he was a Union soldier, and we think a lot of people didn't come to his funeral per se. And the amount of time it took to get the headstone, and by the time they got it, nobody knew where he was buried. So therefore we don't know where he's buried. We believe these above William Whitley's in here, you think?
This is, yeah, William Whitley Jr.
Junior, yeah.
and his wife. But this is Harvey McAllister. He married William Whitley Jr.'s widow after Whitley died.
Okay, William Whitley Jr.'s widow?
Yes. And his son, McAllister's son, married a Smith, Mary Catherine Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, look what we got here. I have not seen any blacks.
And now, are these above ground coffins we decided was during the color
That's,
or is this just the way they did it?
this is just monument.
Okay,
I mean, they're buried underneath.
yeah. Interesting.
1926. The book inflamed anti-slavery sentiment throughout the North and deep resentment in the South with the publication in 1851.
Uncle Tom's Cabin,
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
written by Harriet Beecher Stowe. You know about this book?
No.
Sure, yeah.
This is a book that when
This name sounds familiar.
when Lincoln met her, he says, "Oh, you're the little girl who started all this war with this book." Harriet Beecher Stowe was Harriet Beecher, and she married this professor named Stowe. Harriet Beecher her father was in charge of the Beecher Seminary in Walnut Hills, and it was a ministry school, but they were big time abolitionists, and so she started writing these stories about slavery from what she saw, went around and visited relatives and so forth, and seeing slaves and how they were treated and so forth, thinking this is a bad deal, this should stop, and put it in writing. Well, she moved from Cincinnati. Her husband got another job up in Massachusetts, and she got hooked up with this newspaper, and this newspaper editor wanted her to start write an article for her. So she wrote this article. It was kind of like before she wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. And then he said, "Hey, that went over really good. Can you write another series for me, another article for me?" So she just kept getting, and she needed the money really bad because her husband was laid off. And so she's writing these articles for the newspaper. Then she comes up with writing Uncle Tom's Cabin. Quite the story, really. And when I worked at Frisch's, the general office was on the site of Lane Seminary right there in Walnut Hills. And from my office, I could see a plaque on the building next door on Thomas McConnell Building that was original plaque on the Lane Seminary building, and then one of those historical markers was right there telling the story.
So basically the marker says that Harriet Beecher Stowe was down here looking for, doing research, you said?
Yeah, research on slaves, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was staying, I think it was staying in people's homes that had slaves. She was also at Maysville. Remember? Did you go up to the? Yeah, the site up there.
Well, no, I never went up there,
okay.
But John Rankin House or whatever.
No, that's on the Ohio side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where the part of the Underground Railroad. And they say that Beecher's seminary was part of the Underground. The Lane Seminary was part of the Underground Railroad too.
We have made it back to Southwest Ohio, and that concludes the marathon trip. I still got to drive home to my house, but we made it back to my Uncle John's house. I'm currently heading to my house, and that was a good weekend. I enjoyed today. Crab Orchard, especially enjoyed the Christian church experience. It's very sad that the little country churches like that don't have any membership anymore, any congregation, any congregants, congregationists, or the congregation has dwindled, I guess would be the best way to put it. But that was great. We met that Terry Shelton guy, which was he claims he's not a preacher, but he did a heck of a job. I felt like, but yeah, that was probably the highlight of my day. That's a place that my grandpa went, his family. So to my remembrance, I've never been in that church. So, but at any rate, I'm glad you came along for the ride. Really appreciate it. That was a lot of traveling there last week and a half. Appreciate you coming along for the ride the whole time. Well, I guess we'll see you on the next trip, everybody. Have a great Memorial Day tomorrow. See you on the next trip.